20 fruit trees that bear fruit fast. Who doesn't love picking fresh fruit straight from the tree? Many people dream of having a fruit tree in their backyard, but give up because they think it will take years to see the first fruit. The good news is that some trees grow quickly and begin producing within a short time. If you want fruit without waiting too long, this text is for you. We are going to talk about 20 trees that bear fruit quickly, explaining how to care for them and what to expect from each one. These are easy-to-find options that adapt well to Brazil's climate and don't require much experience to cultivate. Let's go! Why do some trees bear fruit faster? Some trees grow slowly, like a jaboticaba tree, which can take up to 10 years to bear fruit. Others, however, are like children who grow quickly. In a short time they are already bearing fruit. This happens for a few reasons. 1. Tree size. Small or medium-sized trees tend to bear fruit earlier. A cherry tree, for example, can bear fruit in just 2 years. 2. Type of seedling. If you buy a large seedling, 1 or 2 years old, it will produce sooner than a seed planted from scratch. 3. Basic care. The right amount of water, sun, and a little fertilizer help the tree grow faster and bear fruit sooner. 4. Climate and soil. Some trees do better in certain places. A banana tree, for example, grows quickly in the heat and humidity of the northeast. If you provide the right care, many of these trees will begin producing within 1, 2, or 3 years. It's like planting a vegetable garden. The better the care, the faster you harvest. The 20 trees that bear fruit quickly, let's take them one by one, with simple tips for each one. Remember, fruit bearing time may vary depending on climate, soil, and care, but these are averages. 1. Banana tree. Time to fruit, 1 to 2 years. How it is? Everyone knows bananas, right? The banana tree is not really a tree, but a large plant. It grows quickly, especially in hot, humid places. You can plant it in the backyard or even in large pots. Care. Needs plenty of water and sun. If you live in a cold place, it may be difficult, but in the north and northeast it grows easily. Tip. After the banana tree bears fruit, it dies, but new shoots grow around it. Just let 1 or 2 grow so you always have bananas. 2. Papaya. Time to fruit, 6 months to 1 year. How it is? The papaya tree grows quickly and bears fruit all year round. There is papaya, which is sweet and soft, and papaya formosa, larger and firmer. Care. Like sun and water, but not soaked. If planting in a pot, choose a very large one. Tip. Plant at least 2 seedlings close to each other so that the flowers are pollinated and bear fruit. 3. Pitangara. Time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. How it is? Pitanga is a red fruit, sweet and a little sour. The tree is small, great for small yards. Care. Likes the sun, but can handle a little shade. It doesn't need a lot of water. Tip. Pitangas attract birds, so if you like seeing nature up close, this is a good choice. 4. Guava. Time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. What it's like? Guava is a delicious fruit, full of vitamin C. The tree grows quickly and bears fruit twice a year. Care. Like sun and well-drained soil, not waterlogged. You can prune to keep the tree small. Tip. If you don't like bugs in the fruit, pick the guavas while they are still green and let them ripen at home. 5. Lemon tree. Time for fruit, 1 to 2 years, depending on the type. How it is? There are several types of lemon: Sicilian, Tahiti, clove. They all grow quickly and bear fruit all year round. Care. Needs sun and regular water. If planting in a pot, choose a dwarf lemon tree. Tip. Tahiti lemon is the easiest to care for and bears fruit quickly. 6. Orange tree. Time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. How it is? Orange is one of the most popular fruits. It has pear orange, bahia, lime, among others. Care. Like sun and fertile soil. If you live in a cold place, choose a variety that adapts well. Tip. Plant in a place where the tree has room to grow, as it can get big. 7. Plum tree. Time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. How it is? The plum is sweet and juicy. The tree grows quickly and bears fruit in summer. Care. Needs sun and well-drained soil. In very hot places it may need a little shade. Tip. There are varieties that adapt better to the Brazilian climate, such as the Japanese plum. 8. Peach tree. Time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. How it is? Peach is a soft and sweet fruit. The tree grows quickly, but needs a little more care. Care. like sun and fertile soil. It needs pruning to produce good fruit. Tip: if you live in a very hot place, choose a variety that adapts to the heat. 9. Passion fruit, time to fruit, 6 months to 1 year. How it is. Passion fruit is a sour fruit, great for juices. The plant is a climber, so it needs support to grow. Care: like sun and water. If planting in a pot, choose a very large one. Tip: plant 2 seedlings close together to ensure pollination. 10. Strawberry, time to fruit, 3 to 6 months. How it is. The strawberry is not a tree, but a small creeping plant. Even so, it's worth including here because it bears fruit super quickly. Care: like sun and well-drained soil. It needs regular water, but without soaking. Tip: plant in pots or raised beds to prevent the fruits from coming into contact with the soil. 11. Acerola, time to fruit, 1 to 2 years. What it's like. Acerola is a red fruit, full of vitamin C. The tree is small and bears fruit several times a year. Care: like sun and fertile soil. It doesn't need a lot of water. Tip: acerolas ripen quickly, so harvest as soon as they turn red. 12. Jabuticabera, time for fruits, 3 to 5 years, a little longer than the others, but it's worth it. What it's like. Jabuticaba is a delicious fruit that grows on the trunk of the tree. It's a sight to see the Jabuticabera tree loaded with fruit. Care: like sun and fertile soil. It needs regular water, but not soaking. Tip: if you are patient, the Jabuticabera can live for many years and bear fruit for decades. 13. Cashew tree, time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. How it is. Cashew is a different fruit. The juicy part is the pseudofruit, and the nut is the seed. The tree grows quickly and bears fruit in summer. Care: like sun and sandy soil. It doesn't need a lot of water. Tip: the cashew tree can get big, so plant it in a spacious place. 14. Avocado tree, time to fruit, 3 to 5 years. How it is. Avocado is a creamy and nutritious fruit. The tree grows quickly, but it takes a little longer to bear fruit. Care: like sun and well-drained soil. It needs regular water, but without soaking. Tip: plant at least 2 seedlings of different varieties to ensure pollination. 15. Pomegranate tree, time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. What it's like. Pomegranate is a fruit full of juicy seeds. The tree is small and bears fruit in autumn. Care: like sun and well-drained soil. It doesn't need a lot of water. Tip: the pomegranate tree is resistant and can live for many years. 16. Fig tree, time to fruit, 1 to 2 years. What it's like. Figs are a sweet and soft fruit. The fig tree grows quickly and bears fruit twice a year. Care: like sun and fertile soil. It needs pruning to produce good fruit. Tip: plant in a place where the tree has room to grow, as it can get big. 17. Graveolera, time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. How it is. Soursop is a large, sweet, and creamy fruit. The tree grows quickly and bears fruit in summer. Care: like sun and fertile soil. Needs regular water. Tip: soursop is sensitive to cold, so plant it in warm places. 18. Serigera, time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. What it's like. Serigella is a sweet and sour fruit, similar to a plum. The tree is small and bears fruit in summer. Care: like sun and well-drained soil. It doesn't need a lot of water. Tip: the Serigella is resistant and adapts well to different climates. 19. Hose, time to fruit, 3 to 5 years. How it is. Mango is a delicious and juicy fruit. The mango tree grows quickly, but it takes a little longer to bear fruit. Care: like sun and fertile soil. It needs regular water, but without soaking. Tip: plant in a spacious place, as the hose can become very large. 20. Uvea, time to fruit, 2 to 3 years. What it's like. Uvea is a yellow, sweet, and sour fruit. The tree is small and bears fruit in summer. Care: like sun and fertile soil. It doesn't need a lot of water. Tip: Uvea is resistant and adapts well to different climates. General tips for getting fruit fast. Now that you know the trees, here are some tips to ensure they grow and bear fruit as quickly as possible. 1. Choose healthy seedlings. When buying a seedling, choose one that is strong, without yellowed or bruised leaves. Older seedlings, 1 or 2 years old, will produce sooner. 2. Plant in the right place. Each tree has its own preferences. Some like sun all day, others prefer a little shade. Check what each one needs. 3. Water in the right amount. Water the trees regularly, but without soaking. The soil should be moist, not soggy. One tip is to put your finger in the soil. If it's dry, it's time to water. 4. Fertilize the soil. Use organic fertilizer, such as chicken manure or homemade compost. This helps the tree grow faster. You can fertilize every 3 or 4 months. 5. Protect the seedlings. If you plant in a place where there are ants or other animals, protect the seedlings with a physical barrier, such as a cut plastic bottle. 6. Light pruning. Some trees need pruning to grow stronger. Remove dry or diseased branches, but don't overdo it, as excessive pruning can delay fruit production. 7. Patience and observation. Even trees that grow quickly need time. Observe how your tree is developing and adjust care as necessary. Final summary: having a fruit tree in your backyard is a joy. In addition to always having fresh fruit on hand, you also help the environment and make your space more beautiful. The 20 trees we list here are great options for those who don't want to wait too long to harvest their first fruits. If you're just starting out, choose 1 or 2 trees that suit your climate and space well. Remember to provide basic care: sun, water, and fertilizer. With a little attention, you'll soon be picking delicious fruit straight from the tree. And don't forget, even if some trees take a little longer, like the Jabuticabera or the mango, it's worth the wait. After all, a well-cared-for tree can bear fruit for many, many years. So, get to work and happy planting. Now that you know the best fast-growing fruit trees, it's time to get your hands dirty and start your orchard. If you live in an apartment or have little space, don't worry. Some of these trees can be grown in pots, such as the Pitangera, the lemon tree, or even the dwarf Jabuticabera. Just choose a large pot, with drainage holes, and use soil that is good for fruit-bearing plants. Another important tip is to observe the climate in your region. Trees like the mulberry tree and the acerola tree like heat and sun all year round, while others, like the plum tree and the pear tree, do better in places with colder winters. If you're not sure which tree to choose, ask your local nursery or garden store. They tend to know the species that best adapt to the location. And there's no need to rush. Start with 1 or 2 trees and learn little by little. This way, you avoid mistakes and ensure that they grow strong and healthy. Remember that even fast-growing trees need time to establish themselves. In the first few months, water frequently, but without soaking, and keep an eye on pests, such as ants or aphids. If you notice anything strange, like yellowing leaves or stains, look for a simple solution like coconut soap diluted in water to ward off insects. One cool thing about having fruit trees is that they attract birds and other animals, making your yard more lively. Furthermore, you can share the fruits with neighbors, friends, or even make homemade jams, juices, and sweets. Just imagine, in summer, an ice-cold lemon juice freshly picked or a fruit salad with strawberries and blackberries from your own tree. It's an incredible feeling. If you have children at home, involving them in tree care can be a fun and educational activity. They will love watering, watching the growth and, of course, picking the fruit. It is a way of teaching about nature and the importance of taking care of the environment from an early age. Finally, don't be discouraged if a tree doesn't bear fruit right away. Some need more time to adapt, and others only produce well after a few years. The important thing is to be patient and enjoy the process. Over time, you will see that it was worth the wait. And when the first ripe fruit appears, the feeling of accomplishment will be even greater. So, choose your favorite tree, prepare the soil, and get started today. In no time, you'll have a yard full of life, shade, and fresh fruit to enjoy. And remember, every tree you plant is a gift for the future, both for you and for the planet. Good luck and enjoy every moment of this journey. Here are some more tips to help your fruit trees grow strong and bear fruit faster. First, choose the right place to plant. Most trees need full sun, meaning at least 6 hours of sunlight per day. If your yard has shade all day, some options like the Jabuticabera or the clove lemon tree may adapt better, but even they will produce less fruit. Another important thing is the soil. Fruit trees like soft soil that drains water well. If the soil in your yard is very hard or soggy, mix in some sand or organic matter, such as compost or well-weathered manure. This helps the roots spread and the tree grow faster. Avoid planting in places where water accumulates after rain, as the roots may rot. Watering also makes a difference. In the first few months, trees need water regularly, but not excessively. The ideal is to keep the soil moist, not soggy. Once the tree is more established, you can reduce the frequency, but never let the soil dry out completely. A tip is to water early in the morning or late afternoon, so the water doesn't evaporate too quickly. Fertilizing is another step that speeds up production. Use organic fertilizer, such as worm castings or bone meal, at least twice a year, once in early spring and once in early fall. This provides the nutrients the tree needs to grow and bear fruit. If you prefer, you can use chemical fertilizer, but follow the instructions on the packaging so as not to overdo it and harm the plant. It's also good to keep an eye on pests and diseases. Ants, aphids, and scale insects can attack the leaves and fruits, weakening the tree. If you notice anything strange, like leaves with holes or spots, look for a natural solution, such as spraying water with mild soap or using neem oil. Avoid strong pesticides because they can kill beneficial insects, such as bees, that help with pollination. If you live in a place with a very cold or very hot climate, choose trees that adapt well to your region. For example, peach and plum trees like milder climates, while guava and patangera do better in the heat. Ask nurseries or gardening stores about the best options for your city. Lastly, don't forget to prune your trees. Pruning helps shape the plant, removes diseased or broken branches, and stimulates the growth of new shoots, which can become fruit. The best time to prune is in late winter, before the trees begin to bud. But be careful, pruning too much can weaken the tree, so only do what is necessary. With these precautions, your trees will grow faster and start producing fruit in less time. And don't forget, each tree has its own rhythm. Some, like the lemon tree and the mulberry tree, can bear fruit in less than a year, while others, like the mango tree, can take a few years. But, with patience and dedication, you will soon have a plentiful and delicious harvest. And when it's time to harvest, enjoy every fruit. Nothing compares to the taste of fresh fruit, picked in your backyard. You can eat it straight from the tree, make juices, jellies, or even share it with neighbors. Planting a fruit tree is a simple gesture, but it brings joy, health, and a special touch to your everyday life. So, get to work and enjoy the harvest.